Sometimes it seems every square inch of Hong Kong has been photographed thousands of times. It's one of the world's most photographed cities, and not only by the local photographers who are out every weekend shooting their girlfriends, boyfriends, dogs, or anything else that moves, but also by visitors from other countries.
Many photographers, whether local or from overseas, focus on the usual sights. Others decide to look at things from a completely different angle. This week, we spoke to two Western photographers who have made Hong Kong their home and examined it from new perspectives.
$30 is the minimum requirement in order to make the staircase safe. You could imagine that in an emergency situation, people's got to have sufficient lighting in order to go down to ground level safely. It's the results of a long process. I've always been extremely interested with staircases in general. When it comes down to emergency exits, well, there is no signature, there is no name associated with it, and yet, from a purely photography point of view, there is a lot to be done.
In his exhibition 30 Lux at 2P Contemporary Art Gallery, photographer Virgile Bertrand focuses his attention on emergency staircases, a ubiquitous architectural feature we don't usually look at twice.
For example, you could ask, well, these staircases are just simple, neutral, they are boring, they don't deserve to be photographed. But like everything in life, even if it looks very simple and unattractive, if you sit there for a while and keep looking at that thing, most likely you'll get to see something interesting.
Bertrand began his career assisting various magnum photographers after studying photography and graphic design in France. In 1999, he came to Hong Kong and has been concentrating on commercial and architectural photography. In 2009, Artistry presented a retrospective of his work under the title Prosemics. The aim was to show interrelationships of people and spaces. The portraits and architectural photographs on show reviewed how people's behavior depended on the relationship to the person next to them or the space around them.
No, I don't worry that I will have anyone complain that I took photos under their skirt, because to do that I have to go really, really low, and I don't do that. I trained myself to shoot from here, left-handed, right-handed, and also from the front, and also from behind me. Yeah, I normally don't shoot from like this up here, because then I will give it away that I'm taking their photo. So what I do is I hold the camera very low, and I shoot from the hip, and then that way people don't realize I'm taking their photo, and they are more natural, so I can capture them, the natural state.
Evangelo Costadimas is of Greek and Italian descent. Born and raised in Ethiopia, he has an engineering degree from Canada and has traveled across Asia. 17 years ago, he settled in Hong Kong. The urban life of Hong Kong people is the subject of most of his work.
I'm a foreigner. I'm always a foreigner. I'm not Chinese, so I will always be a foreigner. So there's always that kind of ambivalence. When I photograph Hong Kong people, I don't think about, oh, I don't belong here, I'm a foreigner. I think of it as, this is my city, and these are the people that live in my city. They're my co-citizens. As a street photographer, I always say that Hong Kong is heaven for a street photographer, because you can go any time of day or night. You go out on the street, you will find something going on. You'll find people, you'll find activity. My style photographs are primarily, what I do is street photography, so that has to do with people. Even though it's called street photography, it's not about photographing streets, it's about photographing life in the street.
This is Evangelo's first interview for television. He says he considers himself a very shy person who is only confident behind the camera.
One of my favorite quotations comes from Picasso, who said, art is a lie which makes us realize the truth. And if viewers of my photo look at my photo and come to realize some truth about themselves, or about their life, or about the city that we live in, I'll be more than happy.